everyone! In this video, I'll share with you the list of requirements that you need to prepare for the ranking of applicants for Teacher 1 positions in the Department of Education here in the Philippines. Please watch the video until the end, for I'll be providing you examples or pictures of the documents so that you'll have an idea as to how they look like. Also, I'll be sharing with you how many documents you need to prepare, like original and photocopies, so that you'll be ready for the ranking. By the way, the list that I'll be sharing with you is based from Division Memorandum Number 57, Series of 2021, uploaded from the DEPED Cebu Province website. So, without further ado, let's begin.
This is just an overview of the list of documentary requirements in the application for Teacher 1 elementary, kindergarten, special education, and junior high school requirements. Later on, we will discuss each one briefly. First requirement is application letter addressed to the school's division superintendent. If you do not know how to create an application letter or letter of intent, don't worry. I have included the link in the description box below where you can see a sample of letter of intent. Prepare or print at least 3 or 4 copies. 2 copies will be submitted to the school and 1 copy for you or 2 copies for you. Second requirement is CSC Form 212 Revised 2005 in 2 copies with the latest passport size ID pictures. I suggest do not just prepare 2 copies, but prepare at least 3 or 4 copies. For the ID picture, it must be again passport size with full and handwritten name tag and signature over printed name. Take note that computer-generated or photocopied picture is not acceptable. As to the background, since it's not specified whether it's black or white or colored, I suggest just use white background because that's what I submitted and it was accepted with no problem. This is now an example of a CSC form number 212, or what we call as personal data sheet. What was indicated in the list of requirements was revised 2005, but this one is revised 2017. This is the document that you need to secure, not the 2005 one. Probably the list was not just updated, but this is what DEPED is looking for. This is what you need to submit. You might wonder how you're going to fill this out, whether you're going to fill this out through a computer or handwritten. What I submitted last year, or what we submitted last year during the ranking process, was a computer printed one, not a handwritten. Also have to take note that after you have filled out this document and after you also printed it out, at the bottom of the last page of this document, you are going to have it notarized by a notary public or a lawyer. Let me show you at the bottom of this page. There you go. Make sure to paste your picture here and stamp your right thumb mark. Next document you need to prepare is certified photocopy of PRC Professional Identification Card. Let me show you an example. I have intentionally not included the upper portion of my ID card for security purposes, and take note that before you photocopy your document, it must have this stamp at the bottom. This is stamped by PRC. You need to secure at least 2 original copies, but if you have extra money, then you can secure at least 3 before you photocopy it. This document is already considered as original, so secure at least 2 or 3 copies of this and 3 or 4 photocopies. Next requirement is your certified photocopy of ratings obtained in the licensure examination for teachers or professional board examination for teachers. So just like your PRC ID card, make sure that at the bottom of the document, it has the stamp from PRC or Professional Regulation Commission. I have blurred my details here, by the way, for security purposes only. So just like this part, certified true copy from the original before you photocopy it. And you can secure at least 2 or 3 documents. 2 is okay, but if you have more or if you have extra money, then you can get at least 3 and then photocopy at least 3 or 4 copies for yourself and for the school. Next is certified copy of transcript of records or TOR from your previous university or alma mater. Keep in mind that when you process your TOR from your university, include your general weighted average or request for a general weighted average because these are 2 separate documents. You might be experiencing the same experience I had when I requested my TOR because I was only given the TOR itself. And it took me some time to process another document for my general weighted average. Another thing, make sure that the purpose indicated in your TOR is for Department of Education ranking as well as the certified true copy at the bottom. Next requirements would be copies of service records, performance rating, and school clearance for those with teaching experience. If you don't have any teaching experience, you don't have to worry about these requirements. This is a sample of my service record. Make sure that it has the seal at the bottom left or anywhere in the document to prove that this is original and was given or printed by the school you worked for before. You can ask for 2 copies from the school and obtain 3 or 4 photocopies because 2 will be submitted to the school that you will be applying for in the future and 2 will be your extra copy. Same thing goes with your certificate of performance rating and school clearance. Obtain at least 2 original copies and have it photocopied into 3 or 4 copies. And make sure that it has the seal of the school you worked for anywhere in the page to prove its originality. Don't worry about the certified true copy stamp because it will only be stamped by the school screening committee when you submit your documents for the ranking. Next documents are or is certificates or certificate of specialized training from TESTA. If you have trained directly from TESTA, but if you have trained from a school accredited by TESTA, you will be provided a certificate from the school, and then later on, if TESTA will already provide the certificate to the school will forward the certificate to you. So this is an example of my certificate of training, contact center services from Springleaf Technicals, because I have trained with them, or I have trained with the school last 2020 online via Zoom. My TESTA certificate is already available in the school and I just need to personally visit the office to get it myself. Don't worry, the certified true copy stamp here because it will only be stamped when you submit this document to the school screening committee for the ranking. Next document is certified copy of voter's ID and or proof of residency as deemed acceptable by the school screening committee. In my case, I did not receive my voter's ID, so what I tried to submit last time was a photocopy of my 2 government issued IDs like Humid and PhilHealth, I guess, or I think it was TIN. That has my personal details, including my address. So that's a proof that I lived in my address. However, it was not accepted by the school screening committee. I was asked to obtain a barangay certification. That certification indicates that I have lived in my address for more than 6 months. So in your case, you can also just get one barangay certification from your barangay. But if you have your voter's ID, the better. Have that document photocopied into 3 or 4 copies. I'm sorry I can't provide you any sample because I forgot to photocopy my barangay certification. Next would be the NBI clearance, and I think you already have an idea what an NBI clearance is. So let's proceed to the last document, that's omnibus certification of authenticity and veracity of the document submitted, signed by the applicant. So you actually need to have this document notarized by notary public. So this is an example. Just like your PDS, personal data sheet, or CSC form number 212, you need to have this omnibus certification of authenticity and veracity of documents notarized by a notary public or a lawyer. Secure at least 2 copies and have it photocopied into 3 or 4 copies. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great day.